The achievement gap in the United States is a multivariate equation, fueled by poverty, inadequate or inappropriate curricula, instructional practices, assessments, and even communities rich with diverse cultures. In the early to mid 20th century, classes were dominated by white middle-class children. Today, our communities and classrooms are evolving. African American, Asian, and Hispanic populations in the United States are on the rise. As you can see from the classroom images, the makeup of the classrooms in the United States have changed. Are teachers and administrators prepared to address culturally diverse students? Are parents equipped with support systems to overcome language barriers? Are children nurtured and respected in a teaching and learning environment where a child's uniqueness is used to encourage learning rather than to become a crutch? American classrooms are rich with cultural diversity, from the Bronx to Stanford. First-generation students come to our schools from Haiti, Jamaica, Poland, Guatemala, Peru, Colombia, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Brazil, just to name a few. Teachers must be provided with cultural awareness training sessions. Administrators and faculty must travel into the community to welcome, inform, and comfort parents. And children must have a monitoring and intervention support system to ensure social emotional health and well-being, and then being able to focus on academic mastery. Looking at these graphs acquired from Stanford Public Schools website, you can clearly see the achievement gap between Black and Hispanic students compared to their white and Asian counterparts, concerning 4 years of science, 4 years of math, college credit eligibility, taking SAT tests, taking AP courses, and even graduating in 4 years.
And welcome back to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Swat. My guest this segment is Rex Fortune, who is an education consultant and researcher here in Sacramento. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
I know you spent a lot of time and many years researching and writing about the achievement gap. And the achievement gap simply is the fact that in school performance, for one reason or another, the achievement of African Americans primarily and Latinos just doesn't measure up to the achievement of other students.
Of Asians and white students, right. That's correct, yes. And it's been pronounced over several years. Perhaps it's been most highlighted in the last decade or so as the No Child Left Behind requirements have had school districts to not only look at that, but to take steps to try to remedy it. But it still persists. And it's a problem that extends beyond schooling. Often these same students are the ones who drop out early. They are the ones who wind up with the criminal justice system. And these corrective measures, as these students are incarcerated, are much more expensive than preventative measures might have been earlier in their life. This achievement gap is still there, and that there are examples of schools here and there throughout the state that not only have begun to close the gap, in some cases have actually created a new gap. That is to say, these minority children are achieving higher than the comparison groups of white and Asian students in their schools or counties.
Only a few seconds left in this segment. Do you find that they are getting the parents much more involved?
Those schools are, and that's part of the mix, if you did, of the remedy, and that is to parent engagement. That schools find ways to engage parents not only in school activities, but to increase their capacity to be supportive at home.
Well, fascinating discussion. Rex Fortune, thanks for coming by and talking.
The first thing that we've got to remember, and I said this at the State of the Union, is that nothing government does replaces the importance of parents in education. And so all of us, regardless of our station, our race, what region of the country we're coming from, if we're parents, we've got to step up our game in working with our kids to learn. Reading to them, turning off the TV, making sure they're doing their homework. You know, building a culture around the love of learning is critical. But our schools have a special role to play, obviously. What we can do in closing the achievement gap is making sure that we've got good teachers in the classroom that are setting high expectations for our kids. And we don't want any child out there not having the best possible chance at succeeding. And one of the reasons it's so important to close the achievement gap is the population is going to be increasingly Hispanic, increasingly African American. Those are fast-growing populations, increasingly Asian, and so if we're not doing a great job educating those kids and closing some of those achievement gaps, we're going to have problems.
You know, race is a big part of the achievement gap. And because there are race and socioeconomic issues that have not been addressed, I think that we miss the mark many times of just really delving into the work. There is no silver bullet. I think that we have to really get into some areas that may be uncomfortable, like I have a diverse staff, and we're creating leaders from this diverse staff, but some of my teachers are white, and we are in an all-black school, and they have been raised without having experiences in urban environments. So having those conversations on how do students actually look at you when you're delivering lessons, what is your opinion of what deficits they come with to the table, and is there anything that's deep-rooted that we need to address? And those are really relationship building type opportunities, because we have to be able to, whether it's a all white staff with black students or a diverse staff with Asian students, or whatever the students are, we have to get past ourselves. And we have to also understand that because there's no silver bullet, we have to think out of the box. We can't continue to do the same things that we've been doing.
Really good teaching and learning, and how we make sure we engage kids and encourage young people and give them the best materials and supports and supplies. But that's only the first dimension. I have a group of kids who are going to come into our classrooms who aren't going to get it the first time we say it. We've got to figure out what Plan B is. And going back to young people and giving them permission to say, I didn't understand that. So many kids, they feel like, you know, if I have to say I didn't understand, everybody's going to laugh at me, the teacher's going to think I'm dumb, my friends are going to tease me, and so they just sit there quietly failing. Most of us haven't figured out, what is that Plan B? How do we re-engage those young people? And we have to seek them out, because they're not going to seek us out. There are going to be some students in troubled communities, challenging classrooms, that still aren't going to be successful, and we have to ask ourselves, what exists outside of my classroom to help these kids? What's in the community? Are there youth programs, sports programs, tutoring programs, library programs? Just thinking about the classroom alone is not going to be sufficient. Let's open this up and make our whole community our classroom.
I am happy. I am happy. I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it
I
out.
have a dream.
I got a dream.
That one day.
That one day.
That one day.
I'ma look deep within myself. I gotta find a way.
I have a dream.
My dream is to be free. My dream is to be. My dream is to be. My dream is to be free.
In search of brighter days, I ride through the maze of the madness. Struggle is my address with pain and cracked lips. Gunshots coming from sounds of blackness. Given this game with no time to practice. Born on a blacklist, told I'm below average. A life with no cabbage. That's no money if you from where I'm from. Funny, I just want some of your son. Dark clouds seem to follow me. Alcohol.
That one day.
That one day.
That one day.
I'ma look deep within myself. I gotta find a way.
I have a dream.
My dream is to be free.
One day.
My dream is to be. My dream
This
is
nation will rise up,
to be free.
live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all